Ladies and girls, children, ages, welcome to another episode of the Geek TheoCast, where spiritual truths meet animated breakdowns.
Yes, today on Geek TheoCast, we're cracking open the cosmic disappointment sandwich Candice Flynn eats daily with the extra mustard of despair and gloom. That's right, today we are talking about the legendary Phineas Fletcher. Flynn Fletcher and Ferb. Fletcher. It's 104 days.
It would still technically be Fletcher.
Leave me alone.
And school comes along just to end it. That's all.
Yeah.
So while we do this, I will be attempting to hold this together with theological duct tape and a lot of prayer.
Prepare thyself, mortals, for hilarity, heartbreak, and hopefully a little bit of holy healing. We'll see how that goes. Segment 1 is going to be Candice Flynn,
so,
the Book of Lamentation in flip-flops.
So as you know, every episode of Phineas and Ferb is essentially the same. If you think of it, it starts with Phineas and Ferb coming up with a beautiful and wonderful invention. And the boys spend pretty much the entire episode building and enjoying their wonderful invention, as their sister spends the whole episode trying to bust her brothers. That is all she's focused on. And ironically, she's the one who always fails to bust her brothers, to tell her mom, look what Phineas and Ferb are building, or whatever. And it's always something so crazy. And Candice seems insane. And by the time she gets her mom there and she's able to really show her, well, something inevitably happens and it disappears, leaving Candice full of disappointment. You know, this disappointment reminds me of Jeremiah's words in Lamentations. Lamentations 3:17 and 18 says, I have been deprived of peace. I have forgotten what prosperity is. So I say my splendor is gone. Can't tell me that doesn't describe Candice perfectly.
Listen, Candice is basically Jeremiah. If Jeremiah had a cell phone and a 5-minute window before Doofenshmirtz erases reality, with everything that she experiences, it is definitely a mirror of Jeremiah with a range of emotions.
Yeah. Caught in the longing and letdown. That sounds familiar. Longing and letdown. Where have I experienced for? Oh, that's right. Anyone who spends 5 minutes in ministry will get to experience that.
Hey, listen. Some of us started with scrubbing toilets and we were promised to preach from the pulpit. I'm just saying. Okay, and other things. But seriously, like here's the basic rundown. You believe you have hope, and then you're ignored, then you explode internally, you eat waffles, and Candice lives this every day. It's an issue.
That's true.
In my head, I want to make a machine that recreates the disappointment of showing up early to a church potluck, and all the brownies are gone. Or your mom's fluff and Dr. Pepper cake. I'm just saying, if one of those is gone, it's a terrible potluck.
Dr. Pepper cake, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there. That does sound bad. Showing up early, the brownies already gone. Who does that?
Monsters do that.
In real life, the enemy loves to sow doubt through delays and unmet expectations. Yeah, that's true. Proverbs 13:12 reminds us, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. We we have those delays, those unmet expectations, those disappointments. And yet, oh, it hurts. Oh, does it hurt? Especially when we think we have it figured out
Yeah.
and it turns out we don't.
Yeah. See, Jason, what if Candice's spiritual gift is really persistence? She's basically a disappointment disciple.
And yet she never quits. And that interesting. No matter how many times she has failed, she never quits. I mean, think about it. That's kind of where grace begins. Right there. To keep at it daily. I mean, that's like, what, 104 times she's failed? Essentially 104 times she's failed. And yet, actually more than that now.
Yeah.
And yet, she keeps it up. She keeps trying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like David. Like Psalm 13, for example, says, "How long, Lord, will you forgive me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" It sounds very disappointing. Lord, why have you hid yourself from me? Why am I feeling this way? How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? Come on. Now's the time. You can show yourself.
It's
Can I
kind of like
experience your fullness now.
it's kind of like David and Candice equal, his musical theater for the soul. Also, Agent P has never let us down, Jason. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah. I mean, disappointment does invite reflection. It's uncomfortable, but it's sacred. And here's the crazy thing. See that? I don't know if you realize. I'm sure you have. He doesn't erase what hurts. In fact, he redeems it. Even through our disappointment, the Lord does something special. And life is full of disappointments. I've been disappointed. Recently, I was disappointed. And I just had to say, all right, Lord, here's how I'm feeling, but I'm going to trust you. And you know what? The Lord is gracious and he is faithful and he helps us get through our disappointments. That's pretty awesome.
All right, Jason. So we got a little section here called Steven's Trolling Games. You ready? So we're going to go through this list.
All right.
Okay. This person lost everything, never caught a break, but still was faithful.
I'm going to guess that was Job, who lost everything.
There we go.
That was full of
Job.
disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
Full of pain and sorrow.
All right, Jason, I got to pause real quick because I got to let Tiana out. I'll be right back.
I will. Maybe.
In the meantime, talk to chat.
If my computer lets me. No. I have YouTube up and nobody's on YouTube. I wonder what happens if I pull up Twitch. Where's Twitch? There you are. I'm switching over to Twitch. Let's see who's in Twitch. Here we go. We're loading. There we go. There we go. Hey, there we go. This is an ad. Wow. Trying to catch a break. Talk about disappointment. I'm disappointed in you, Twitch. I'm just trying with chat, and yet. All right. All right. Well, this is fun. Let's see. I'm going to. There we go.
Clap, clappers, clap, clap. Jonah.
Round
Okay.
two.
Yeah. Okay. What about this one, Jason? Ran from his
Well,
calling,
thanks for telling me.
Yeah, ran from his calling, got swallowed.
You already told you.
Okay, so
You already
I did.
said it was You already said it was Jonah. You're like Jonah. All right, this guy ran from his. I'm like, you just told me what it was.
Okay. My bad.
I am paying attention.
My bad. Okay. What about this? He denied, doubted, disappointed, and still built the church.
Well, if I'm Catholic, I say it's the first pope, but I'm not Catholic, and I don't think he was the first pope. So, but I'm gonna still guess Peter, aka Petros, which means the rock.
All right.
If I'm Greek, yeah, in Greek it's Petros.
You know, there's many that would argue that Naomi, her heartache was intense. Like in her heartache was intense. Her bitterness was real. Like it says in Ruth 1:20, where it says, "Call me Myra, because the Almighty had made my life very bitter." And still God authored legacy through her pain. And it's kind of interesting to note, Jason, as you've told me countless times, that Ruth never calls her Myra. It was always Naomi.
Mara, yeah. Yeah, you can. It's funny because yeah, she tells Naomi, call me this, like call me bitter, and Naomi's like, I'm not gonna do that. Like I don't care who you are, I ain't calling you bitter. You got better things, girl. You know, you may be old, you may be my mother-in-law, but I ain't calling you bitter. And she never did. It's true. That's amazing. I love. That's one of my wife's favorites. She loves the Book of Ruth, and that's one of her favorite things is the fact that yeah, Naomi or Ruth never called her Mara. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so you know what I've discovered, Stephen? A lot of times when we go through disappointment, we'll pray and we'll seek the Lord, and sometimes it feels like God is silent. And I know for a lot of that silence makes them believe that God's not there, or God's just ignoring them. But you know, it's not necessarily true. I mean, not necessarily true. That's not true at all. Um, you know, I mean, like Candice, all right? Like if she were a biblical figure, I know we're talking about her. If she were a biblical figure, her arc would end with her finally being believed, but not before she learned deep peace. She would kind of like a good story, you know. I mean, the Lord's a great storyteller, and that's what a good story does. You know, no one wants a character who just like, you know, like in this case, Candice. You know, it's not like she's just gonna the first time she's trying to bust her brothers, like it just happens, and okay, we're good, and life moves on because that would be boring. But part of a good story is like having having that character development, right? And that's what works in us is that character development. Like we don't just wake up one day and just automatically have this, or you know, we're a much better person or anything like that. Like we have to go through those times, and that's exactly what you know. I believe what Candice does is she has to be developed. She has to go through this, and as she does, like before you know it, she would have inner peace, and she would just be like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. I think what you're trying to say is if Candace was a Bible character, the real invention isn't in Phineas and Ferb's backyard, but instead in Candace's heart.
Exactly. I mean, she shows us that disappointment may be loud. Hope is louder, regardless.
You know, it's kind of like Doofenshmirtz. You know, he built hundreds and hundreds of machines, and none of them worked. Candace tried to reveal the truth and was ignored. But neither of them ever gave up. They kept trying. They stayed weird. They stayed loud. You know, so should we.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in fact, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I mean, the episode's been out for a while, but what's crazy is there's actually a new episode, one of the new episodes, where we discover that Doofenshmirtz and Candice have the same therapist, who finally connects the dots that Perry is connected, that their stories are connected because they both mention Perry. And so through all this, he comes up with all this proof how they are connected and how Harry is this secret agent. And so he's going to expose him. They're in this big thing and he's going to expose it and all that. And one of Doofenshmirtz's inventions just off and ends up knocking out, completely making everything disappear, so that whenever they pull the curtains, what's there? It's just Perry, with nothing, and he looks crazy now, and the audience just laughs at him, and as he just continues to try to convince them that he's telling the truth, but it's kind of funny because for Candice, she's like, yeah, that's the norm,
Right. Like, here's the thing. Candice, we believe Candice's story. We also believe Agent P. We believe in purpose. We believe everything, no matter how hard, no matter how difficult it is, there's a purpose for it.
Absolutely. And most of all, talking about believing in things, most of all, we believe in redemption. That's the beauty of it.
Well, guys, thanks for joining Geek TheoCast today. Hit that like button, drop your favorite Candice meltdown below, and remember, don't lose faith just because your invention disappears when mom walks in the room.
It's true. No matter what, even if you feel unseen, just know that you're seen by God, even in the in-between. Even when you're full of disappointment because you feel like you're about to succeed and then something happens and it just magically disappears for whatever reason.
Until next time, guys.
It's okay.
It is okay. Until next time, guys, stay geeky, stay holy, and remember, disappointment isn't the end. It's the beginning of faith. Until next time, it's been a pleasure having you at Geek Theo podcast. Stay nerdy, stay awesome, and Excelsior.
Excelsior. Bye, everyone. Make sure you follow us. I'm a catfish, half cat, half fish. Shh, don't tell Sora. I will not tell Sora anything. I don't have to tell him anything, do I? Wait, if you wrote that like a while back, I'm just now seeing this. Anyways. Oh. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say. I guess I could sing something like, I'm not very good at trying to waste time, I guess you could say. Maybe I am. Alright. Say something. I don't know. Sing something. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Standing on. Bum, bum, bum. Exactly. He still doesn't know. And he never will. Zoop, my lips are sealed. Hi, Steven. How's it going, buddy?
You know what? Bless your heart. That's all I got to say to you. Oh.
Yes, bless your heart, darling.
Yeah. Okay, where were we? Round 2.